All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the altcoin craze.
It's definitely been a wild ride lately, especially for Litecoin and Cardano.
You got that right. And all this buzz is swirling around those three little letters. ETF.
ETFs, exchange-traded funds, could be a real game changer for the altcoin market.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we're dissecting in this deep dive. We'll
Wow.
break down why Litecoin and Cardano are suddenly the skunos of the show and what this potential ETF approval frenzy could mean for you.
We're talking about a potential shift in the landscape, how big players, the institutional investors, are starting to eye altcoins a bit differently.
You know, it's funny, I was looking at some predictions from Bloomberg analysts, and they're giving Litecoin a whopping 90% chance of snagging that ETF approval.
Whoa, 90%. That's a pretty bold statement.
It is. Now, of course, we got to remember predictions aren't guarantees.
Of course not, but still, a 90% prediction from Bloomberg, that's got to get your attention. It's a pretty strong signal that institutions are starting to see Litecoin as a serious contender in the crypto world.
And the market's definitely reacting. Litecoin's price jumped a cool 11%, pushing it past $128. Talk about a sugar rush.
Everyone wants a piece of the action. It's the fear of missing out, classic FOMO in action.
Makes sense. Everyone's trying to ride that wave before it crashes. But you know, they say, buy the rumor, sell the news. What do you think about that in this situation?
It's a valid point. There's always the risk of a price correction after all the hype dies down, once an ETF actually gets approved. But even with that risk, the fact that these institutions are seriously considering Litecoin for an ETF, that's a huge leap forward for the whole altcoin space.
No doubt about that. Now, while Litecoin is riding high on that market momentum, Cardano's making waves for a whole other reason, technology. So they just went through a major upgrade, a hard fork called Plowman.
Yeah, hard forks are essentially like a major system update, kind of like when your phone gets a whole new operating system. And this particular hard fork, it brought something pretty big to the table, fully decentralized governance.
For our listeners who might not be blockchain gurus, could you break down what decentralized governance actually means?
Sure thing. Basically, imagine a system where no single entity, no one person or organization has control over the network. That's what decentralized governance is all about. It's like a big democratic system for a blockchain.
So no more centralized power, more community involvement.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But why is this such a big deal, especially for those big institutional investors we were talking about earlier?
Well, think about it from their perspective. They're looking for stability, transparency, and security. Decentralized governance checks all those boxes. It minimizes the risk of manipulation or mismanagement because the power is distributed among a large community, not concentrated in one place.
So it's about building trust, basically.
Exactly. And Cardano, they're already sitting pretty with a market cap of $28 billion. This hard fork just adds another layer of credibility, making them even more attractive to those big institutions.
It's fascinating to see these two different roads leading to the same destination, that potential ETF approval. Litecoin surging on market hype, and Cardano building its case with technology and solid governance.
And it's not just them, right? We got to look at the bigger picture. Remember how Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs totally exploded? They raked in a crazy $655 million in new investments. That's got to be giving other altcoins like Litecoin and Cardano a serious confidence boost.
It's like a ripple effect, showing that the big players, they're ready to jump into the crypto pool.
And it's not just the institutions either. We're seeing a surge in U.S. retail investors dipping their toes into the crypto waters.
And get this, exchange reserves are dropping. So people are holding on to their altcoins like their digital gold. What's
Yeah.
that all about?
That's a telltale sign that people believe in the long-term value of these altcoins. It's like when you stash cash in your savings account, you're betting it'll be worth more later. Same idea here.
It's almost like a vote of confidence. Everyone holding onto their coins, institutions getting interested, and regulators, well, they're becoming more open to the idea of these altcoin ETFs.
Yeah, the SEC's been taking a closer look at those applications lately, which is a pretty big shift from how things used to be. Could be a sign that the tide's turning in favor of crypto.
I like that the tide is turning. It's like we're at a tipping point. If Litecoin and Cardano get those ETF green lights, who knows? We could see a wave of approvals for other altcoins.
It's definitely a possibility. And that could lead to even wider adoption, bringing crypto further into the mainstream. Imagine a future where crypto is just a normal part of everyday finance.
Wow, that's a pretty big what if. Okay, so let's quickly recap before we wrap things up. We've got strong ETF prospects pushing Litecoin and Cardano into the spotlight. Institutions and everyday investors are jumping on board. Everyone's holding tight to their altcoins. And regulators seem to be warming up to the whole idea. It's a wild world out there.
And it's only getting wilder. Who knows what's around the corner for the crypto world?
Exactly. So as we sign off, here's something for you to ponder. What other altcoins might be next in line for that ETF gold rush? And with all this excitement and change, what could this mean for the future of finance? It's a question worth exploring as you navigate this incredible, ever-evolving world of cryptocurrency.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another exciting exploration of the crypto world.
See ya.
Bye.